What happened?
Hey, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
What was that? Macho, I didn't catch that.
I said Bayonetta 3 looks awesome, dude.
Hey,
You
yo,
see
Yeah,
it?
man.
yeah. That's not what you
Yo,
said.
man.
All the Vaseline on screen, that was wild.
Hey, yo.
Hey, man. I'm glad we finally like got a look like at her.
Yeah, that on 240p glory.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
man.
Hey,
Yeah, I bet you guys are glad you got to look at her.
Yeah, man, that new hairdo is dope.
Oh, man.
She got that bow hair, the hair bow at the back.
Yeah. Great for pulling. I mean, it's great for looking,
Hey.
looking cool. You know what I mean?
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo, man. No matter where you pull, you're pulling hair on her, you know?
Hey.
Damn.
I
Did you guys see that Fall Guys is the most downloaded PlayStation Plus game of all time?
Yeah, even Guinness World Records and revealed that or something like that.
Yeah.
Wait,
That
are you
was
serious?
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
It beat
Fall
Fortnite.
Guys.
It beat Fortnite.
Was Fortnite on PlayStation Plus?
Oh no, that's here.
Oh,
it's just
true.
PlayStation.
PlayStation Plus specifically. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Fortnite is just free. No.
That's interesting. That's the most downloaded one. I would think it would have been Rocket League because that was huge.
It has like its very, very loyal community now.
Yeah, it's an esport.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of crazy though. Is Fall Guys still popping though? Is it really still?
Still doing
There's
his thing.
Yeah, there's a good chunk of streamers that play Fall Guys as well. You have like streamers that up like, oh, Fridays is for Fall Guys and shit like that.
Okay. That's fun. I just remember Tim the Tap Man was like his streams were hilarious on that one, or like the clips that I saw. Because he couldn't win. He couldn't get the dub, and then he eventually got it. And I think the Twitter account was like celebrating or something like that. I got a couple of wins out of that game, but
I've never played that game.
So by the way, we are live right now. So Macho, you want to check how audio is?
yes, sir. Give me 1 second. I'll also tweet it out and everything.
All right, cool.
Dance, Smokey, dance.
Yeah. So you've been you got Kina, right?
I did.
Cool. All right.
Just barely started playing it last night. Cause like I told Macho, I've been working from like 4 to midnight, training for the job. So, been very busy. What I've played in like little segments, but I've gotten around to play a bit of Kina, a bit of Tales of Arise, so I can have some opinions on both. So that's good. The only one I haven't played is Deathloop, so I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that.
Nice.
Which, by the way, is there? Because in the last few months, I mean, we'll talk about when we get on the games. But are there games that you've been like, I've been playing this and no one knows?
I don't think so.
No low-key games that's like, I got this on sale, man.
No, I mean, really, the only one that comes to mind was like not Guilty Gear, but BlazBlue, I guess. But I mean, I told you guys about that.
Yeah.
Bullets release toxic gas on impact. Cool.
All right, we're good. I just tweeted out right now, and I tagged Herman, Shuhei Yoshida. Got to know we live.
God
Wow.
damn. All right. Guys, this is episode 30. It's fucking crazy.
Bam!
Yeah.
It all goes downhill from here.
God
Our
damn.
knees will start cracking. Our backs will ache.
Hey man, that shit's already happening. Alright guys, welcome to the 30th episode of the DualShock Sense Podcast. I am your host, Soul, the connoisseur of anime waifus, joined as always by my two co-hosts. I got Macho with me. How you doing, man?
How's it going, everyone? The King of Kingdom Hearts and the Final Fantasy fanatic is coming at you live. It's been a couple weeks, man. What's going on? I'm excited. This is fun. We've been playing some games, man. We've been playing a hotbed of games, and I'm ready to get into it. But I just want to say to everybody joined in now and afterwards, thank you for joining by, and let's have some fun.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got Walt here as well. How you doing, man?
Oh, what's up, y'all? I'm stretching. Manga Maniac and the non-gamer work. Am I right, guys? It's been 2 weeks. We were silent last week because video games were silent. But this week, yo, it's so rowdy that we even got like Nintendo talking, and Nintendo barely speaks. Am I right, y'all? But we're gonna talk games. We're gonna talk games. Yeah, that's all we talk about. What else are we talking? We're gonna talk politics or anything. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, no, today's definitely gonna be a game ass podcast.
I think so for sure, man. Because not a lot happened in terms of like gaming news, but a lot of games have been dropping recently. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about all that stuff. I want to remind you guys to go ahead and drop a like on the podcast. Consider subscribing. We greatly appreciate the support of any kind. So yeah, man, we're just going to get right into it, talking about the games that we've been playing these last couple of weeks. We had a lot of big releases, right? Like Tales of Arise recently dropped, Deathloop, Kena, Death Stranding, Director's Cut just released as well. So yeah, guys, let's get into it. What games have you guys been playing?
Speaking of games, well, here's the thing. I'm not too deep in both games that I've touched. I'm not too deep in. The one I'm the deepest in that I want to hear more of Macho's thoughts, because I've seen his Twitter and I've seen this. He has a big party. I don't have the whole party yet on Tales of Arise. I want to hear a lot about like what he thinks about the game. Obviously, we're not talking spoilers. I hope no spoilers slip out of anyone's mouth.
No, I'm good. No worries, man. No worries.
But it's Tales of Arise. It's been a while, and by a while I mean like I probably like couple of years since I've like had like an actual fun with a new JRPG. I don't count Persona Royal last year because it's not really like a new game. But it's been a while since I've actually like sat down and enjoyed a JRPG with like Tales of Arise. I barely just beat the first Lord out of the I think 5 Lords there are.
Oh man, you're in baby steps right now.
Baby steps. I just met Magic Girl Rinwell, and we're on our way to a city called Cislodia.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, I've been taking my time with the game as well. Not only have I only been able to play in small segments, but the game doesn't feel... I want to enjoy every step of it. Previous games, like Tales or otherwise, JRPGs, I've been wanting to just get on with it, get to the meaty parts, the big like story beats or the big battles, or just grind away. But in this case, I'm like actually enjoying the scenery. I'm enjoying the small dialogue when you have like a pop-up of a dialogue between some characters in the party. I'm enjoying those. Like I'm actually invested in the story. And usually with JRPGs that are like there's 100 of them, like the Tales series, there's many hit or misses. In this case, this is like one of the biggest hits for me. But I really want to hear more about what Macho thinks in a minute. And the other side of games, I started Kena. What's the official pronunciation?
Yeah,
Kena.
Kena.
Okay.
Yeah.
I started Kena yesterday, was it? I'm not too far into it. I hear it's not a super lengthy game, but because of that, I've been really like slowly taking my time with it since yesterday. And let me tell you, we talked about, obviously, Insomniac, they have they have a budget. You know, Ratchet looked phenomenal. But aside from that, I really think this might be like one of the most beautiful games I've played all year. Um, and it comes down to not only visually, but the context, like what I'm looking at. You know, the little creatures, the rot, uh, Kina's design, the lighting, the different like the stones when you do the pulse, like everything just comes together so beautifully. Which in that side, I want to hear more about what Soul thinks about that game later on. But that's been mostly what I've played. I haven't played much of it, so I can't really go too deep into it. But I really want to hear what Macho thinks of starting off with Tales of Arise.
Yeah, man. So before I get into Tales of Arise, just a little bit of Final Fantasy 14 update, because Final Fantasy
It's
Fanatic
free.
gotta do his thing. Uh, yeah, it's a free trial to level 60, including the expansion Heaven Sword. Unlimited
Oh
playtime.
man. Here we go. Here we go again.
Had to come back, man. Had to come back. Server's now open. In any
It's been 2 weeks, man. We were free. We were free from this, and now it's back.
Yeah, days liberated from my Final Fantasy 14 campaign 0. No, so I've been diving into 14 off and on along with Tales of Arise throughout the past couple of weeks, and that's because I've been really trying to focus on getting these platinum trophies for 14. You know, it's going to take me quite a while to do it, but also just getting like the relic weapons, which is basically like your end game weapons that look super cool and flashy. Some of them glow, some of them like are based on crystals. So I've been kind of chipping away at those and just going at the trophies. And it's been, I made some huge success the other night before, so it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to Endwalker and more. But the main appeal for my gaming talk here is Tales of Arise. I'm 45 hours deep into the game, and from what I'm gathering from other people I've seen that have beat the game or along the same track as I am, is that I'm like at least 80% done with the game story. Around there, I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 dungeons left in the game, and I'm almost finished with like I think the second one of the 4. So we're almost done with Tales of Arise, man, and let me just say this game is absolutely blowing my mind when it comes to its presentation. Like at some point, I don't even believe it's a Tales of game, because just how much it is like a step up from Berseria, which is a game I liked and I enjoyed, but it still had its kinks, right? Like I still would have a problem recommending it to people that wanted to play like a JRPG, because I could think of other better games to actually dive into if you want to use your time for that. But Tales of Arise just immediately shoots up to the leaderboard. It's just like, it's an amazing game, dude. Like my mind was legit blown after I don't, no spoilers, but after like a certain part in the story, and I was just like, what is going on? Like, this is nuts. It just absolutely just turned its tables, and the more I go into Tales of Arise, the more I'm just loving it, which is kind of surprising too, because from my experience with Tales of games, like the more I play it, the more I'm like, okay, I'm actually ready to finish it. But like the more I play Tales of Arise, the more I say to myself, I don't want this to end, which is kind of crazy to me, man, because of what I said before about the other Tales games. I'm really enjoying the story. The characters are just absolutely phenomenal and so personable, and you could really it really has like that Tales charm where the characters are at the forefront and they absolutely take the spotlight, and you wouldn't have it any other way. It's kind of crazy how like the series itself has kept that progression for years and years and years now, where the characters are just absolutely memorable and fun to be around. And Arise, I have to say, is my favorite of the cast of the games I played. I love every character. I love playing as them. Yeah, there's just so much about Tales of Arise that's like a lot of fun. It's just developing to be around, and it's worth playing, and it's absolutely going to be a contender for Game of the Year for me, along with It Takes Two. Like right now, those are the kind of like my fighting ones: Tales of Arise, It Takes Two, and Resident Evil Village. But I could easily knock out Village for Tales of Arise or for It Takes Two.
Damn, that quickly? No
Yeah.
hesitation?
No hesitation. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? It's as bizarre as it sounds, and I'm not 45 hours in. I'm like 3 hours in or 4 hours in. I'm already it's and I meditated about this. It's not recency effect, but I really am already seeing myself putting this one in that same light. Like Resident Evil Village, as much fun as I had in hindsight, like I look at the game, and there's things that Tales of Arise is already showing me and giving and making me feel in a way that Resident Evil Village in the end didn't make me feel. And
Yeah.
and honestly, I'd be very disappointed if it's not a contender for a Game of the Year. But it's already in my heart and in my heart and in my mind. It's already like top three.
Yeah, well, 100%. Yeah, man. It's again, it's so weird to me. This is like a Tales of game, man, because like I'm used to them being a little campy, a little cliche, but this one's really breaking the mold, and I can't recommend this game enough to someone that wants to get into JRPGs because it has the full package. The same reason I'll give my recommendation to Final Fantasy VII Remake for people that want to play their first JRPG or whatever the case may be. It's just like it's all there. The presentation is amazing. The voice acting is top notch, and I'll say the combat for Tales of Arise, it gets better the more you play it too, and the more you unlock arts and plays different characters. It's beautiful chaos, is what the game's gameplay or game's combat is. The more you unlock characters and the more abilities you unlock, compared to Final Fantasy VII Remake, where it feels more precise tactical kind of combat, even though it is button mashy, right? But it's still like a lot of fun. You just have to make a lot of really crucial decisions and transition the characters a little smoother, but overall it looks way more cleaner, right? Tales of Arise is like, let's just throw shit on the screen and have it do mad damage, right? And there's some level of fun to that and sloppiness that only Tales of Arise can really pull off.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, 45 hours in, I'm excited to see where the story ends. I'm really invested into these characters, so I'm excited, man. This is definitely one of the best games of the year, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm that's definitely like one of the games that like, I mean, there's a lot that's coming out right now, so like I want to get to that game. But yeah, I got to put it on the back burner. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into it because I've seen just the combat itself. Like it looks really fun, and like you can really sort of like express yourself with the combat, sort of like in, I guess, almost like a DMC kind of way. So yeah, it just looks really fun to play. So I'm really excited, and of course the art style is gorgeous. So yeah, I'm really itching to get to that one.
Nice. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it, especially Walt's too, because I know you guys are definitely looking into the deep crevices of like these game mechanics and these characters and their motivations, and thankfully they have it all sound. By the time where I am in the story right now, everything has been like real clear and cut, and it's a clean story, man, and it's really good. I'm very happy with the dialogue and what they're doing with it. It's not cringy, it's not super anime-esque. Like there's no point in my head I'm like, I don't know about that one. Like,
You know,
it's cool, man.
that's one thing that I'll say so far with the dialogue and the story. Not that I've hadn't gotten the weeds of it, but with what I've got, it's because obviously there's different genres of anime, but this very much feels, because usually anime games feel too shonen, too cringy, cheesy lines. Like literally, you can see the demographic they're going for. But with this one, it almost feels like I feel like I have to think about it, and not because it's complicated, but because there are like moments of like, oh, like there's something more to this character. It's not like this is who I am. It's not one dimensional. It's like, okay, like they give me enough for me to keep playing, and they make these characters interesting enough to the point where I'm like, okay, I want to know more about you.
Oh yeah, yeah, man.
So
It's the game's full of that. Game is full of that. Even 45 hours in, there's still like some
Really?
there's even some mystery to like because you get a good sense of where the characters are and like how they are, but even then there's still like some secrets that some are keeping, some are holding back, and it's because of hesitation, or maybe it's because of self doubt. So there's a lot that's going on with these characters, even this far in, and it's on top of that, it's dark, man. Like there's some absolute dark shit in this game, where even I was like, what? like I had to pause my controller or pause the game for a second, just become like, this is actually crazy deep, and not what like an anime JRPG from 10 years ago would have done. You know,
Yeah.
it's great, man. It really does flips the lid.
It really falls more into like more what's known like as seinen, which seinen is more of a genre that's like geared towards like older, young, like young adults, and this game very much feels like that. Contrary to Vesperia, where Vesperia does have some themes, but Vesperia, it very much the way it's presented, it's a lot more like, oh yeah, like your 13-year-old can play it and might have fun, and will understand it. But with this one, I feel like for Tales of Arise, there's a much more deeper appreciation when you realize what it offers, and that's the whole package. Right now, and I remember last week, when we last did the podcast, you mentioned how there's moments of very, very dramatic music, and I gotta tell you, Macho, when I started, I was waiting for those moments, and I'm like, wow, this is like more intense than what the moment is. But the more I play it, it's grown on me. Like the very dramatic music at moments, I'm like, it doesn't feel off place,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the you keep hearing. It's like a song you keep hearing, and eventually like it's like people when they like complete like from day one they instantly judge the Drake and the Kanye albums, and they completely just said that it was trash, and then you like 5 days later they're like, this is the best album ever. It's like, yeah, like keep listening to it, you'll eventually start to like it. Same with this, like I guess this game, like in any game, when the music is good, it'll set in with time. If it's not good,
more or less. I mean, that's the one thing about Tales of Arise I'll say, like it's a little lackluster, is the music.
Would you say the entire, like, including like environment and battle music in your 45 hours?
I will say, like the standouts would be like the boss music is really good. Like it absolutely pumps you up. But the thing is, you can barely hear it because the characters are screaming their fucking attacks all the time.
Totally anime.
So like, and I know it's the absolute Tails charm, right? That they're just screaming in battle, and like that's a Tails thing. But the problem is like when you're getting ramped up for like this boss fight. I won't say which one it is, but I was like really into it. I'm like, oh god, the music is flowing, it's doing its thing. We're kicking off. We're about to fight. Thunder, rolling thunder, thunder, cleaving sword. I'm just like, come on, man. Like, yeah.
DK Thunder.
Like,
yeah, I gotta turn that shit off, man.
you can't. That's the thing. You can't. I'm trying to look for the options. You can't actually turn off the voice. You could turn down the voice volume, but I haven't really heard much of a difference, even when I'm turning up the music volume. And the thing is, I don't want to turn the volume voice all the way down because it can probably do the same thing for skits or turning down the voice volume in cutscenes or something like that. So that's why I haven't really like messed around with it. But yeah, I mean that's really the only thing where like let your music sing, bro. Like Tails needs to let his music sing because it has some good tracks. It's not the best soundtrack, but like it needs to let his music sing, and that's one of the things I appreciate about Final Fantasy VII Remake, where when you're in a boss battle and you're hearing the themes bumping and you're just going in, man, it's a whole nother ballgame.
I feel like with Tales of Arise, it's, obviously I don't have the spreadsheets. I don't I don't know how it went down budget wise, but the music, while not cheap sounding, it's the kind of music that's anime music. Like that's an anime game music. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like like if you hover over the icon on the PlayStation Home, you hear that music, you're like, yeah, this is an anime game. It's like there's like 100 instruments on top of each other, and
Yeah.
and you
pretty
always
much.
hear the you always hear the very just prolonged just strings and everything, but it doesn't sound off place. What it doesn't sound like is unique, and that's fine. Not every game has to have this Final Fantasy VII remake level soundtrack.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
But it gets the job done. But for a game that offers so much in every other department, you yourself are like expecting, wow, like you notice the music being not as standout because of how incredible the game is, if that makes sense. So like you play Death Stranding, it's like there's not much to the gameplay, but the music, it's like, oh, Kojima put his playlist here. It's like you can tell what's going on, like the discrepancies or like why, or like Ghost of Tsushima, like the music and the game really like they synergize in a way that's like, wow, this is one like single entity. Like Last of Us, there's moments of no music and just like a string or two, and it's like, wow, this fits. Or why is it so quiet? But it makes sense. Here it's like it's either too loud or it's not there. Like with the characters, yeah. In my case, I have it in subbed, so all I I'm not gonna make the million sense. It'll be racist, but like it'll be just Japanese all over the place, and I'm not reading the subtitles of the moves because I don't. Why would I do that? Because I'm fighting. So all I'm doing is hearing a little bit of music plus Japanese screaming, and just moves, which doesn't take me out of it, but it's noticeable because I'm used to it. I think the last JRPG being Persona, it's a turn-based, so you don't really have that problem. The music is playing while you decide what move to make. But yeah, I'm liking it on the little I've had, and there's nothing. If you don't like this kind of game, then you're not gonna like this game. I think that's the only way that I can say that you're gonna dislike this game. It's if you don't like this kind of game, or if you're elitist of a certain like anime game.
Or if you're
Because
just
honestly,
weird.
just weird. Because sometimes like you have a phenomenal game in its own genre, and people are like some people will go wild and be like no, it's not. Like with Resident Evil, it's not Resident Evil. It's like shut the fuck up. Like you're not Capcom. Like what's going on? Like you don't know your own blood. Video games are not your blood. This is the company's blood. Like what's going on? Be more objective. But yeah.
No, I mean, even then, like I guess I can't recommend this game enough just because of how streamlined it is too. Like it's super easy to track quests, and you
Very
can fast
accessible,
travel.
right?
Yeah, very very accessible. You can fast travel anywhere. You can save anywhere. So like, there's really no excuse to like hamper on this game's mechanics, or at least its convenient features, because it's all there. You're not blocked from saving within a dungeon or anything like that, like from old JRPGs, or you don't have save points. Like it's all there. I mean, the one thing I've seen people complain about is like the amount of experience that you get seems a little like less, and like some people have what's the word I'm looking for? Like not predictions, like speculation that it's because it's tied to the microtransactions of the game. Which
It's got microtransactions?
Oh yeah.
Weird.
It does. It has microtransactions where you can actually buy currency, and where you can buy levels. So
Oh wow.
a lot of
So
people.
it's super accessible.
Yeah, basically. But the thing is, this has always been in the Tales of games since I think like the PS3 era.
Yeah.
Where
Even
like
the Switch game, like Berseria, like they all have like add-ons.
oh really?
Yeah, there are add-ons.
I didn't know they had on Switch though.
Now, I don't know the point, how far and how deep it goes in terms of like levels and such. I don't know if it's Battlefront 2 bad, but I know that there's add-ons, like boosters and stuff. But I don't know to the extent of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Never buy it.
There's definitely there definitely are boosters like certain items you can get that increase experience points or, um, uh, so even like for like the costumes, right? Like like the school outfit costumes or the bathing suit costumes, those actually have some like a specific art tied to those costumes. So it's until you buy the costumes where you can get like a really cool art for a certain character. So like those are the things that like people are like, what's that all about? And
Yeah.
that's really shitty,
Yeah.
and for good reason. I think that's the first time I've actually tied costumes to arts. But in any case, it's not the first time you could buy like levels. Not the first time you could buy gold or anything like that. But the thing is, I've been playing it and I've been pretty good when it comes to just leveling and using food items or even money. Like I just sell like my old equipment that I'm not using because obviously you're not going to equip it again.
So you don't feel like you're being pressured into buying them?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not Odyssey. It's not AC Odyssey where it's like, oh, you either have to like you have to do all these quests. Like it doesn't feel that forced. Like you're, and I'm not talking about Rise. I'm talking like other Tales games and other JRPGs that do offer like, experience boosters. I never feel pressure to do it because, the heart and soul of all these games many times is the grinding, that you have to sometimes do. And honestly, I don't know how far in levels you go in Tales of Arise. But
Just 100. Just 100.
Okay, then it doesn't feel too absurd for it to have experience rack up in a slow pace. Because, I mean, again, until I beat it, I won't be able to judge it accordingly.
No, yeah,
But
that. Just to interrupt you real quick because I love that you brought that up because if like Alphen's like level 30, right, and you're facing against like a level 40 monster, Alphen's gonna get his ass whooped
Right.
because he's obviously 10 levels over that enemy. But the thing is, if he's around all the other characters, you definitely have a fighting chance. So that's why I'm glad you brought that too, where it slows your levels a little bit because you are doing a ton of stuff. When you're acting as a team, you can decimate enemies that are like 5 levels or more above you.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Me and my dumbass, I was level like 2, and they introduced the special enemy. I forget the name. It's like it has like lightning around it on the map, and it's like a super powerful enemy. And as I do in all games, when I'm introduced to like, oh, these are the higher level enemies, I'm like, I'm a level 2. But I can probably like chunk it down in like an hour or two. I join the fight at level 2, and it's a level 47, and I'm like, oh, the bars there's no question marks. Maybe I can start like jotting down some health. I start hitting the enemy. I don't see the bar even budging. And I'm like, oh, got it. I get it. So I come back to this area later in the game.
Yes,
like, I can't beat this now.
That was level what 47 enemy.
Yeah, it's like the mantis thing in the beginning.
Yeah. Actually, I just beat that, and I was level 38.
Sheesh,
39.
and it's like a level 47 or 46 enemy, right?
Yeah. And mind you, I struggled a little bit. I had to use some life bottles. I had to like really like be up in my game. But the thing is, I had a full party, level 37 with all the max gear that I can have at that point,
Nice.
and I was able to beat it. So
Hell yeah. And that's another thing, right? Let's talk about the people. When I hear someone say, oh, you don't get much experience, or oh, microtransactions, ugh. All right. What's your priority? What do you play in your spare time? If a motherfucker that plays gacha games is telling me about microtransactions in a JRPG, I'm questioning everything you're telling me. Because, like, how can you talk to me about a game that you paid for, right? And you can progress through. It's not free to play. You can actually progress through without microtransactions. Well, on the side, you're playing a gacha game that you're spending like $50 every week, buying new characters like Genshin. Like people that spend hundreds of dollars a week. So my question is, what do you do in your spare time, or what gives you the right to tell me that this is a bad add-on to the game? Because honestly, I can't. That's why it's hard to listen to reviews, because I don't know you. I don't know what you do, or like opinions on the internet. I mean, granted, that's toxic as hell, and being on Twitter. But like listening to opinions, it's like I can't take what you're saying seriously because I don't know you. I don't know what you do. Like, who are you to like tell me that this is a good or bad thing in a video game? Granted, I don't like microtransactions in general, like in my life, like at all. The only reason that they're, I think, justified is, in this case, I don't think that tying it to an art is a bad thing, or just that it's a separate thing. Why? Because the game itself offers you a full package. These are literally, this is the definition of an add-on. Or do you want the art to look different? Here it is. It's not necessary. It's not required. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
If it's a Battlefront 2 situation, then we have a problem, you know? To the point where you can buy a win in a match. You know, that's troublesome. That's like, you know, the reason why it went through so much heat. EA went through so much heat and it changed. But in this case, you know, talking microtransactions, it's not 2K by any means. It's not FIFA.
No, yeah, it's still a little crappy just to like have like an in-game art tied to some microtransactions, but
yeah,
for people
way.
that collect and for people that want to complete the whole thing and have everything, I get why that's an inconvenience and why it's crappy. At least for me, it's crappy for that reason, but I can't get mad at it because I don't need it. And in reality, I don't need the game, but in the context of the game and what I require to enjoy the game, I don't need that. That's just like an accessory. It's like in Persona, granted, it's not tied to art, but if you buy separate costumes, it's tied to a soundtrack that plays while you fight an enemy.
Yeah.
So instead of Life Will Change, you'll have like the Catherine theme music playing, or you'll have
this does the same actually, where like the costume is tied to like an art, and there's also like a battle music that you can get, and you get like 300 like skill points.
Then you know for me, I loved Persona, hence I ended up buying those because I actually enjoyed them, and I enjoyed like
but that's so minuscule compared to like what Tales is doing. Like,
with the art,
with the music,
the specific skills, yeah.
But that's the thing. With Persona also did it, but not with the art. It did it with the costume and with the music itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I feel like that's so minuscule compared to the microtransactions in Tales.
Would you say really?
It is, yeah. It definitely is.
Yeah,
because you can't level boost yourself in Persona 5.
Oh, when we talk about level, no, you can't level boost yourself in Persona. I'm talking more in terms of skins. No, when it comes to level boosting, in general, I don't support it. My thing is more of who's saying it. You know, in my case, I don't buy level boosting ever, and this is like me putting my heart out. I never buy level boosting in any game, hence why I don't like it. But I can't listen to someone talk to me about it when I don't know you. You know what I mean? Like, who are you to tell me that this is a bad thing? That's what I don't like.
Man,
but not you, but in like internet and shit. You know.
Then like, do you listen to any reviews at all? Because like,
I honestly I've gone to that's why I don't like reviewing like conferences, like when y'all like, what do you give it, like an A or B? I'm like, as much as I don't like it, like doing this, I'll say a B or whatever. I barely listen to reviews, and if I listen to a review, it's because it's not a review itself. It's like a video of a person that I follow through years, and they're like, it's like a conversation, like a podcast kind of thing. But I barely listen to reviews nowadays. I buy games solely on like the research I do, like through gameplay and like just what it offers in general. But unless and this is not that I look at a review, unless I hear someone talk about, oh, this game has this bug, I'm like, oh, who talks about it? Oh, this review talks about it? Okay, what's it saying? But I don't go into a review being like, oh, tell me, is it good or not? Like, I don't do that. I don't. Yeah. In general, I don't enjoy reviews. I don't.
Gotcha. I mean, well, in any case, bringing it back to Tales of, I mean, those are really the only things that kind of like glaring. But other than that, fantastic game.
Yeah.
It sounds really good. Like I said,
for sure.
I'll definitely be getting into it, and you guys' high praise for it only makes it more painful that I'm not playing it right now. But yeah, sounds good.
You'll play it like you did Resident Evil. Huh?
What is that supposed to mean?
You really play that Resident Evil 8, huh?
Okay.
Anime connoisseur, waifu connoisseur, yeah.
Hey, man.
Man, hasn't been stepped on my Lady D yet.
Hey, man. Give me my flowers, man, because I beat Resident Evil 2. So,
Hey, man, that's a feat, though. Yeah, that's good.
Now, question for you, Jay. Jill or Claire?
Jill every single day.
Yeah,
but Claire's pretty fucking cool too. Like,
oh yeah, she's badass.
Yeah, I love
relatable.
I love her and honestly, like I think I liked her scenario more than Leon's, just because like the Sherry stuff was like I don't know, like I immediately felt an attachment to Sherry, and I wasn't expecting that, and yeah, I just really enjoyed their relationship. It was really wholesome. That's not to say that it's not to say, you know, that Ada and Leon's, you know, story was bad or anything. Like I enjoyed it just as much, but yeah, I really enjoyed the Claire scenario. And like I said, I feel like maybe 2 podcasts ago, maybe just like Mr. X being on your ass from the beginning is it adds a different level of because you're just always tense from the jump in Claire's, or at least in the second run with Claire. So yeah, that definitely added something different. But yeah, so not really much else to say about RE2, I guess, because I already kind of highlighted my complaints and then what I loved about the game in the last podcast. So yeah, it was really fun. Really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to like whatever, like I guess I'm an RE fan now. Like I'm looking forward to whatever this franchise does next.
Yeah.
Now you gotta play Resident Evil Remake.
Oh boy, because I don't know about that one, man.
That one,
That's a tough one.
I'm telling. No, it's well, what are you talking about, man?
That's
Resident
what I've
Evil
heard.
Remake is one of the,
Not hard.
it's one of the
I don't mean
best
hard.
ones.
I know it's amazing. It's phenomenal. I'd say top 2 in the franchise. But in terms of like the I don't know. So do you like you know the kind of game it is in
Tank
terms
controls?
of angles and tank
Exactly.
I mean,
That's why I don't want to do it.
You can change that though.
Can you? I didn't know you could change
and
that.
the remake, you don't have to play tank controls. You can change it to like normal movement.
I mean, either way, I was in the same boat as you, Sol. Whereas, like, I don't want to play tank controls. Who likes playing tank controls?
That's ass.
But then when you actually play Resident Evil Remake, I'm like, oh, this makes sense.
No, it still didn't make sense.
No, it's amazing. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
It's awesome.
It's like Green Fandango.
So
I'm like, the only reason I enjoy Green Fandango, and it's because of how like.
I know you're not comparing Grim Fandango to the greatest of Resident Evil Remake
game.
right
It's
now.
basically the same game.
Stop it, Will.
Nah, but no cap. Like the game, you can change it so I mean, just have that in mind. But honestly, it's phenomenal. 0, but remake.
Yes, you don't need to play 0, but it's 1 remake is amazing.
Yeah, 1 remake, then play 6 for Sherry, because I know you like Sherry and Ada, and play.
I ain't playing 6.
Dude,
I've seen a pretty extensive review on that game. I'm alright.
Yeah,
No,
just watch the cool action scene between Chris.
You gotta watch
and
the whole
that's all you need
cutscene.
to watch.
Just a whole 8-hour cutscene.
Yeah. I'm alright, man. I'm gonna spare myself of that.
Did you play 5?
Yeah, back in the day when it came out.
Okay.
That's a good one too.
And then I beat 4 on the Wii. So.
Oh wow. That's
You use the motion controls?
Oh hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. You better believe I did.
That's funny shit, man.
They should bring the PlayStation Move back so I can play that at Resident Evil 4 on PlayStation 5.
Yeah, man. I was swinging the nunchuck too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny stuff.
Man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so RE2 finally got that out of the way, which feels good. And then yeah, so basically, the past 2 weeks have been pretty much Deathloop and Kena Bridge of Spirits. So I guess we can kind of dive into Kana first. Get that out of the way. I haven't really poured too much time into it. I only have about maybe an hour and a half. I'm curious to where are you guys at with it, if you guys have been playing.
I have not been playing it. I'm holding off on. You know that meme of like kid in class is like trying to look like he's holding something in. His face like super red. You see the veins on his
like
face.
the vein is popping.
That is legit me trying to not buy into this game and wait for November for the physical because they already announced it.
Yeah.
Like if this game came out like when it was supposed to come out, which was what, last month?
Yeah, August.
Yeah, so if it came out then and the physical edition got announced for November, I would have been like, okay, I'll dive in. But since it's legit just 2 months away and I still have some games in the backlog, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll hold off. I'll hold off because I want that physical, man. I want it. It looks so cool.
Honestly, I probably should have done that as well.
Ah, man. But I mean, besides the point, yeah, I haven't really played it. But so I'm looking forward to see what you guys say because word around the streets is that this is a winner.
Yeah, man, it's really really
All
cool.
right.
I'm oh yeah.
No.
All right. Shit.
No. It's gorgeous.
But yeah. I enjoyed what I played of it for sure.
Same.
Yeah, I mean it's I'm not gonna bring up the Pixar comparison. I'm not gonna do that because I'm fucking sick of hearing it. Any game that looks remotely artistically different from the photorealistic games that we get nowadays, everyone just immediately goes, oh, it's so Pixar. I'm not.
Life is Strange is not Pixar, and it's not your typical, like there's games. People just compare this very specific kind of like animation, which I get, but Kana does look Pixar. It's like Disney's like, hey, here's a game.
So Jay, would you say is as ridiculous a comparison as to say that all of Sony's first-party games look the same because they're all third-person action games?
Ooh, that's a
Yikes.
different can of worms right there. Yeah, but I mean, kind of. I see where you're going with that. Yeah. So obviously, aesthetics aside, I mean, everyone. It's not rocket science to look at that game, and it's gorgeous. It's obviously gorgeous. But we knew that from like the very start, the very first trailer that we got of this game.
Did we though?
Oh yeah, that was my biggest reason. That was the biggest selling point for me. The very first reveal trailer for this thing, I was like, yeah, I want to play that purely based off of just how great this game looks.
Because it's a Pixar game, yeah.
Oh man.
Jay's about to quit the podcast after you said that.
For real, man. I'm on my last legs, man. Oh man. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I was already sold on the game purely based off of that, but then I also needed a little bit more, like gameplay wise, like what are we doing? And gameplay wise, it's actually pretty cool. It's kind of it's that classic light heavy attack and rolling away from attacks, dodging and parrying, that sort of thing. And it's actually I don't know if you've heard about this, Macho, but it's actually surprisingly it pushes back, man. It pushes back. It's yeah. It's even
so it gives you a little bit of a hassle.
Yeah, it's even on normal difficulty, like it's still like it's giving me that work a little bit here and there.
You got to lean forward a little bit.
Not a full lean, not a full lean, but I'm definitely focused, yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, I'm really enjoying I guess just the exploration in general, right? Like it's not like the biggest open world by any means, but it's just it's just so meditative and relaxing to just sort of walk around and take in the sights, and yeah, I really don't know what else to say because obviously I'm just scratching the surface. But so far what I've played, I'm really digging it, and I'm excited to play more.
Would you say it's just as hard as Returnal?
Clearly not.
It is, right? Yeah.
No.
What about these PS2 comparison that I
Um.
see a couple times on timeline?
Yeah.
What's your thought? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, it just has that vibe of like I kept saying it in the stream that I did of the game of the first hour that it's so reminiscent of like Attack in the Power of Juju if you ever played that on PS2 and GameCube or God, there's this game called like Spinks something. It has like a subtitle or something like that. But yeah, it just feels like a game like straight out of that era. Obviously, I have to play more to get more of that comparison. But I imagine people are making that comparison just because of heavy platforming and the puzzles that are in that game. We just don't really get a lot of that kind of gameplay nowadays. So when something remotely like that sprouts up, then yeah, that's the sort of easy comparison. If I have like one nitpick, it's probably like the movement. The movement doesn't feel the best, just in terms of like it feels a little like delayed. Like once you actually like push the stick forward, uh, it just kind of feels like what's a good comparison? Like I guess like you're kind of like walking through mud for like a few seconds, and then the character starts moving. I don't know. It just feels a little like not as clean as it could be. The jumping as well, like because you have a double jump in the game, and like I guess it's hard to explain, but it feels like your second jump is just like it's not like distance, like you're really like jumping forward. It's merely just like you jumping higher, if that makes sense, and that kind of can mess with like where you think you could be able to jump to. So you really have to kind of like be like I feel like I'm clenching every time I make a double jump because I always feel like I'm not going to make that jump because it just feels off every single time, but it ends up being fine. So
What exactly are you clenching though? Just curious.
oh man, really, let's not get into that, man. Oh man.
Your controller, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, just don't grip it too tight though.
For
So.
sure.
You sound
Man.
like a very like a comedian trying to be an interviewer. Like it sounded that was so like well put in there. I love the segue.
Have you seen Drewski on Twitter? You know who
Him
that
for
is?
Sakina or no? No.
No. He's like a comedian on Twitter, but
No, I haven't.
he he has this meme. He has this meme of like him like leaning into the camera, and it's like, what do you mean by that? that kind of reminded me of that.
Jay, to your point of movement, another thing that I've noticed, and I can see the PlayStation 2 comparisons, is when you're walking, there's that delay, but when you stop, it's sudden. And it's almost like she purposely like just stop her foot and it's like, gotta stop there. Like there's it's not organic. Like you stop moving and you feel like the character's like, oh, I stopped, and like you see like the body like react to the stop. No, it's like you move, bam, you move, bam, and like it's like very stiff. The way that if you turn around, if you're in one single point and you turn around, she's like very stiff in the same spot. Like she's not even budging, if that makes any sense. Like the movement, I'd say that the movement that's what's very reminiscent of like old games, but it doesn't feel like an old game because of how, I guess, gorgeous and well it plays. And in terms of the jump, there's a double jump. So first jump definitely feels like it covers a little, just a smudge of distance. But then the second one stops you, and it just makes you like, once you double jump, you float, and then you come down slower than if you would have jumped the first time, if that makes sense. So it doesn't take you a distance. It lets you like, not glide even, just float for a little bit, and then you like come down. If that makes sense.
I think that's a good way to
Yeah.
put it. It's more of like a float instead of like you actually like jumping for distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What was I had during my stream I had like I fell through the world like I feel like 20 minutes into the game. But I was able to get myself I was able to jump out. Which was pretty funny, but
Oh, you saved yourself.
yeah. So but yeah, besides that it's been a fairly like so I guess polished experience like yeah, besides that minor hiccup.
Now, question, Jay. Do you sometimes have this where if you're moving, you're just moving, you'll occasionally see Kana like stumble, and there's nothing there. It's like it's not a lag, but it's like she tripped on a rock, but you keep moving, and there's like a slight delay. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
I don't think so.
So you move, you're running, she's walking her normal animation, not even running, just like her normal walking or like jogging animation, and she'll like, it looks like she stumbles on a rock, and it's not like on purpose, like there's no animation for it. It looks like the game just like she gets caught, like the character model gets caught in something. Similar to how when you start walking, it's like she's walking through mud. It's like she walks through like a little bit of mud and then she keeps walking normally. Like I have had that happen to me a couple of times. I don't think it's like a glitch or anything. I don't know if it's like just something or maybe a bug. It's not by any means game breaking, but it's just something that happens. Just something to look for if you keep playing.
Yeah, I don't think I've had that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, like I said. But yeah, Matcha, I think you could definitely like wait on it for sure. Like, yeah, I don't think it's something that you need to be playing like immediately, but it's still a really fun time for sure.
Cool. It's definitely I believe the physical edition is coming out in November.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think, yeah.
I'm really. I don't know, man. Like I'm glad that that I ended up picking it up like as soon as I did, but at the same time, yeah, like I do want that physical version.
Christmas present.
Man, I'm not I'm not gonna spend another $40 on something I already have, man.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's why I was like, I'll just hold off a little bit. But in any case, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing it for sure.
Yeah.
If I finish it and I feel the same way I did with Life is Strange, then I might buy the physical. Because with Life is Strange, I bought all digital because it was only digital back then. But then they announced the physical limited edition, and I'm like, I love that game, so I bought it twice. Or like Stardew Valley, which I bought on PC, and then I'm like, I want to play that on PlayStation. I bought it on PlayStation. And I'm like, I want to take that on the go, and I have it on Switch. So now I have Stardew Valley on 3 separate systems. So it depends on how much I love the game. If I love this game to that extent, then you'll see me with that physical. If not, this is the end of my purchase.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So yeah. Besides man, I'm gonna we're gonna see how I'm gonna do this dance, man, because we're gonna talk about Deathloop. But right now
I've been aching to see what you're saying on this one, man.
yeah, but I'm in a big ass gunfight right now, so we're gonna see how I can manage this.
Oh man, I thought you had a smoke or something.
No. For Deathloop.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like so my biggest sort of thing with Deathloop is like I'd just rather be playing Dishonored 2, to be honest.
Wow.
It's just for whatever reason, like it's so solid in like so many different areas, right? Like the gunplay feels so good. The stealth is also like pretty fun when you're doing it. Like right, like it's a good game, but like for whatever reason I'm not addicted to it as I feel like I should be, or like I was with Dishonored's gameplay loop. Like Dishonored, I would run through these levels like multiple times because I felt it was so fun. There were so many avenues to sort of explore these levels and sort of figure out a way to get to your target at the end of each level. right? It was like each level was like a labyrinth, and you really like carve your own path through it in order to find your way to your target at the end of it. And you're given all these different tools in order to go do that, whether you want to go stealthy or guns blazing. But with Deathloop, I just don't feel that level of like, I don't know, like freedom, I guess, or just like the tools just aren't there for me yet, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not like, and I guess aesthetically, like it's I don't know. I guess it's like a very like 70s or 80s vibe to the game, and I guess I'm just more of a fan of like the steampunk vibe that Dishonored had, right? Like the missions that you have in Deathloop are like very, at least so far, are like what you're seeing on screen right now. It's like very like cliffside and grassy places. Like a lot of the interiors are really interesting, but I compare that to like the missions in Dishonored 2 specifically, man. It's like I think about the Clockwork Mansion, which is like probably one of the greatest levels in gaming history. Like that level is absolutely bonkers. Or you think about the level where you're literally in this like broken down like house, and you are like literally flipping between time periods within this house to like a time period when the house was like in its heyday, in its prime, where there's like people walking about, there's a party going on, and then at the snap of a finger you switch to back when the house is like all abandoned and like dilapidated, and it's all broken down, and there's like nature growing through the house, and trees and vines, and you're literally just bouncing back and forth between time periods in this single location. And it's so cool because it's like there's like in you'll walk into one room and it's like, oh crap, like I'm overrun, so let me just switch back to the other timeline, and then boom, like the room is empty of enemies when like literally a second ago it was just full. And then you could just hop right back into that same room when you're ready to take on those enemies, and it's almost like a puzzle. And so far, like there's not anything like that here. There's another level in that game where you constantly have to be aware of like this raging dust storm, so like you have to run inside an interior building immediately as soon as like the dust starts picking up, or else you're gonna take damage. There's a mental asylum mission as well. So like I guess my point is that like the actual like sandboxes and playgrounds within Dishonored 2 were far more interesting than, at least so far, than what's in Deathloop. And just sort of like the opportunities that each one of those levels presented was just like really, really fun. Yeah, so like I don't really know what else. Like I guess like the premise for Deathloop itself is like really interesting, and I guess that's probably what's kind of made me feel the way that I do, is that like I just feel like I'm so overwhelmed by this game. Like there's so much like happening that like I'm in a constant state of like I'm not sure like what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I feel like I'm just like like not even going through the motions, but I just feel like I'm like wandering through the dark, because the whole premise of this game is essentially you have 8 targets, but so it's this whole time loop thing. So like at the end of each day you die, and you have to start at the beginning of the day, and you lose all your equipment, all the powers that you have, etc., etc. So you start from scratch at the beginning of each day. And
familiar?
Yeah. And but the big sort of like crux of this game is you have to kill all your like the main targets will respawn if you don't kill all of them within the single day. So like let's say you only kill 5 of your targets in that one day, then you have to like start all over. You have to kill all 8 within that single day. And that within itself is like a puzzle. You have to figure out, okay, how do I actually manage to kill all 8? Because some targets are only available during the night, some are only available during the morning. These targets are located through all different locations, and if you go to another location, that progresses the day. So it gets really tricky in terms of like, okay, how do you actually figure this out? which is cool. Like the premise is really cool, but it gets a little bit overwhelming because it's like, okay, this guy is only in this location in this specific time of day. Then you also have like a bunch of clues, like, okay, this specific character's workshop burns down at noon. How can I use that to my advantage? Can I lure one of my targets into this gas chamber that's only available during nighttime? Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many things that you have to like discover in the world in order to help best figure out like the best possible route to actually kill these targets. And I don't know, it's a little overwhelming to be honest. And so yeah, I just feel like I'm not really going into any of these days with like a specific plan. I'm just jumping into a level and just seeing what I can do, which I guess is fine, right? Just, you know, exploring and seeing what works. But I don't know. This game has a lot more to it than I thought, and I guess it just wasn't really prepared for that. I don't know. It just that's my, I guess my biggest sort of thing is that it feels overwhelming at times. But
Okay.
yeah.
It sounds a lot like a freeform Hitman, or not freeform, like a more specified Hitman, I guess.
Yeah, Hitman's a good comparison, but at the same time, it offers nowhere near the level of sort of, you know, freedom and wiggle room to you know, to you know, go off and kill a target. Yeah, it's like it does offer like some of that Hitman like gameplay, but it's nowhere near as like you know, in terms of like options, it doesn't really give that wide range of like choices to really express yourself.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I feel like I'm qualified to talk about because I spent like 190 hours with Hitman 3, so so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're an Arcane fan too, so this is where like I'm gonna throw the question at you then, with your time playing. Would you say that it's more or less kind of on par with what reviews are saying about it, or what the general public seems to be saying? Because a lot of people were saying this like Arcane's best game, or maybe you just haven't really you haven't really uncovered that magic of it yet.
Yeah, like I don't know if I'm ready to make that claim like until I finish the game, right? But you know, as I am right now, like I still like I keep playing this game and it's just not sinking its teeth into me. And again, like my biggest thing is that I wish I'd rather be playing Dishonored 2 than Deathloop. And like I just feel like also like, cuz I'm such a big fan of like stealth gameplay in general, and like yeah, like the stealth can be fun in this game, but like it's nowhere near as like in Dishonored, man. Like I was like, you could get into you know, each like little sandbox and like literally like a phantom clear out entire levels without anyone ever noticing that you're there. And I just don't feel like Deathloop gives you, like, in terms of like the abilities, it doesn't give you the tools, like enough tools to really do that, which is kind of a bummer because I feel like I guess this is another big thing, is that I feel like I'm in this game, I'm not that I'm pressured, but I feel like I've been more pushed into gunfights than I would like to. Which again, I prefer to walk into rooms and clearing out enemies as silently as possible. But yeah, I don't know. In Dishonored, that was like I felt like I was so prepared to do that. And Deathloop, I don't know, maybe not as much. But again, maybe that changes with some more powers later on in the game. But right now, I definitely don't feel like that at all.
Okay.
So it's not a, so would you say it's not a 10 like many have said?
I mean, again, like I'm not sure.
You're not sure yet?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet, but I mean, like I said earlier, like this game, it's solid top to bottom. Like the gunplay is fun, pulling off headshots, silently is always fun in this game. Moving around is fun. The whole aspect of Juliana and how she's incorporated in this game is also really really cool. Her constantly, I mean, not constantly, but periodically, almost like Mr. X in a way. She'll pop in to a level, and you kind of have to worry about her being on your back. So yeah,
That's one of the things I want to ask actually, because that's honestly my most interested aspect of this game, is the relationship between Colt and Juliana.
that's probably like the best part of the game, to be honest. Their
Cool.
banter back and forth is really really fun to listen to. Although this really messed me up. I didn't realize that. I thought it was like an audio glitch or something, but like there's a lot of like radio talk, like characters or Colt and Juliana talking to each other via radio, and Colt, you could hear his voice perfectly, but Juliana would just be like, I couldn't hear her at all, and I didn't realize that like it was using the speakers on the controller, so you have to turn up your controller speaker up in order to actually hear her voice. So like literally for like the first like 6 hours of this game, I was hearing like none of her audio. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so that was fun. But yeah, their banter back and forth is really fun. They're really playful, I guess is the word. They're constantly like roasting each other, which is pretty funny. But yeah, definitely that's the best part of the game.
Cool. That's what I like to hear, because honestly, from watching the trailers and just sort of seeing kind of like the feedback and the voice actors being on Twitter, stuff like that, getting really excited about the game. That was the one thing I was hoping that this game would nail, would be just the actual the Colt and Juliana like relationship and dialogue.
Yeah, it definitely does that for sure. But yeah, in terms of like, I feel like I didn't check out too many of the reviews for this. But I don't know. I feel like I agree with like a lot of what they're saying in terms of like the level design. Like Arcane is still like best in class in terms of like how they make their levels. Or actually, I guess IO Interactive is probably best in class, but Arcane is like still like pretty up there. And yeah, this game is no different. But yeah, it's a cool. Obviously, I'm gonna keep playing. But yeah, I guess my biggest sort of like tagline or takeaway from this whole spiel is that like I just rather be playing Dishonored 2, I think.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy to hear you say that. Actually, that was the one sentence I was not expecting to come from you when you're talking about Deathloop.
I praise Dishonored 2 so much though. Like I feel like it's not that surprising. But yeah, I don't know.
But you would expect that the next big title, and because their last big title in your eyes then would have been Dishonored. We would have expected that this one would blow Dishonored out of the water, but that's not the case.
I mean, for some people it probably does, but for me, so far,
Yeah.
it doesn't. And I think
Exactly.
what didn't help was this game had a really really long tutorial, like almost like Persona 5 long, but
Oh shit.
like
Jesus
Persona,
Christ.
but and again that might have been on me because I was taking like a really really long time to do that tutorial, but it was like a good like 5 or like 6 hours before, like it was really really handholdy, and during that tutorial you didn't have like any powers at all, so it was literally just you with a gun and a knife for like 5 or 6 hours of that game, and it was just really like I feel like boring is like too like harsh of a word, but I really felt like I was just going through the motions with that tutorial, and because it took so long, I just it left like a really sour taste in my mouth. But then like once the game actually started like opening up and letting you explore the levels, like or choose what levels you want to jump into, once the power started becoming more available and the better guns started coming in, that's when that's when it started getting a lot better for me. But yeah, that tutorial and how hand-holdy it was definitely didn't do any favors for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
when you finish the game, I have a couple more questions based on like if you think it's gonna be a sequel or if um, or if the AI really is as kind of broken as some people post up video clips of.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if those kind of questions you can answer once you complete the game a little bit more. But yeah, overall, man, it seems like a wait and see right now, at least for myself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the AI is definitely like I felt the same way about with Dishonored and the AI in that game. Like, it's just whatever. Like, they're dumb, but they're also smart to the point that you feel like you're actually doing something cool when you kill them and no one in the room like notices or whatever. So like there's kind of like a balance in between them in with them. So it's it's all right. But yeah, it's definitely it's nowhere near like like Last of Us Part Two's like AI or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and I guess bringing up Last of Us Part Two, like I think
Oh,
I prefer the stealth in that game to this, like any day of the week. Obviously you have more at your disposal with Deathloop, but I don't know. I felt like with Last of Us Part Two, I was able to clear out entire rooms, without anyone noticing. Uh, you know, I was more able to do that in that game than in Deathloop.
Interesting. Have you by any chance played the Metal Gear Solid series,
No,
specifically Snake Eater?
I haven't.
I think that's one that you will really like
The only
if you like that stealth stuff.
the only one I've played was Portable Ops, I think.
On Vita or
PSP.
PSP.
Yeah,
no, yeah,
PSP.
no, PSP.
It's on Vita as well.
Peace Walker. That's the one that's on PSP. Peace Walker.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the PSP has a little collection. Has like two or three, right?
I think so. But yeah, I think you really like Snake Eater if you like the stealth stuff because a lot of you could definitely see a lot of inspiration from Metal Gear Solid and Last of Us Part Two.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And the story is very simple to follow.
Yeah, it actually
yeah?
is. Yeah,
Yeah?
Legitimately, it actually is.
Yeah.
I played 3 from the get go without playing 4 or 2 or anything like that, and it was very easy to follow.
The only reason why people, not the only, one of the reasons why people say that it's complicated, it's because the games themselves are not in order. So like Phantom Pain is not the last one chronologically. I think the last one chronologically, I forgot the name,
Yeah.
it's like one of the older ones.
I think Snake Eater takes place before Phantom Pain, if I'm not mistaken. I
Yeah,
think.
and that's where you're like getting the weeds of it. But
Yeah.
but it's I agree with Macho. You should, if you like that, if you really enjoy that kind of approach in games. I mean, Metal Gear is all about it. That's the main drive of that series is just the many ways that you can approach a stealth situation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
and if you want to like try it, because I don't know if it's free for everyone still or if you got a chance to get it on PlayStation Plus, but Ground Zero, although it's like just a sandbox mission, just one mission, it's a good example of how you navigate that world, at least. And it's a newer game, so you try that out.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's not Hitman. It's not Hitman by any means, but
Yeah,
it is.
not a lot. Not a lot is.
Not a
Unfortunately.
lot. Which by the way, Jay, I need you to confirm this. I hear that if you download Hitman 2, but if you download the free pack of Hitman 3, you can play Hitman 2 on Hitman 3 engine?
Yeah. I mean
Okay.
that's what's the word I'm looking for? Like Hitman 3 is basically like I guess like a platform where you can access both Hitman 1 and 2. And
Really?
and both those games are like I think like slightly like remastered or whatever, and they look better in like they're like in the updated Hitman engine or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, that's how I played through Hitman 1 was through Hitman 3.
And would you recommend, I haven't played any of the three, would you recommend me playing 1 through 3 or just 3 and then maybe check out 1 and 2?
Yeah, I mean, you can honestly, it just feels like one long game because they're all fairly similar to each other. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could start with one and then work your way from there.
Okay, because I've been meaning to. Only reason I haven't downloaded them it's because I haven't purchased a hard drive and external drives to put some of my games in. So right now, and Hitman 3 is not a small game by any means.
Yeah.
Those games are not small by any means. But I want a reason to download them. And now that I know that I can try all three, because that's my big thing with games. I don't like unless it's like Final Fantasy situation where you can literally play 15 and never have played anything else, and you'll get the same experience regardless. I like to play games from the start, so I might check it out and I might come back to you on that.
I think Hitman 2 is actually free on PS Plus right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was curious, because I did hear that you could download the free package of 3 and play 2, which 2 I already have on my library. I just haven't downloaded because it's massive. Those games are massive, which I get, but goddamn, they're like 100 gigs.
Yeah, for sure.
But good stuff, man. Deathloop.
But yeah, man. You guys have any other questions for Deathloop or?
What I want, because Macho and I talked about this on our own one day when we were playing, but because I like to hear the conversation between you two, because I already had a conversation with him in terms of Last of Us. I want to hear more about Macho's, where he left off, mentally, emotionally, when he last played Last of Us, here on the podcast, and tell you his 2 cents. If you want, Macho. If not, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, well, just to answer Jay's question, I'm good on questions for now until you actually beat Deathloop. But
Okay, cool. But yeah, that's all I had for Deathloop.
Good stuff.
But yeah, so Last of Us Part 2, man, it's been sitting on my shelf collecting some dust the past couple of weeks.
Oh man, I don't want to get into this, man.
It's been collecting some dust. The last place I left the game in was I just finished Abby's Scariff Heights section, and she's with Lev, and we're in the building. We're actually going towards like the basement area or something like that. And that's really I kind of left off on the game, and I just haven't really been in the mood to kind of go back to it, man. From what I was talking with Walt about it before, like the story is not really gripping me, as well as like the characters. It's kind of hard to recollect because we talked about it like quite a bit ago, but I think one of the points that still sticks out even to this day is when me and Walt kind of came to conclusion that more or less, well, I think you agreed with me actually on this, where it feels like The Last of Us Part 2 it's telling me to like its characters, isn't really gradually letting me like the characters the same way Part 1 did. And
nah, man.
It's not hitting for me.
It's not telling you to do anything, man. It's just you gotta make up an opinion for yourself, man. It's not telling you anything.
It's absolutely just forcing characters in my face and just saying you should care about them because Abby's connected to them or Ellie's connected to them. Like I can stand in my square right now and tell you I don't give 2 shits about Dina and Jesse.
And good. That's something that's an opinion that you formed like yourself. That's not the game, telling you to like one way or another. Like it presented you these characters, and you based your own opinion off of what the game presented to you. Go ahead.
No, but again, like I can see where you're coming from in that, where it's like you don't have to like these characters, right? Like you can absolutely, and I totally agree with that, and I understand your point on that. The problem that I have is that I'm connected to Ellie, and I guess the point I'm trying to make here when it comes to all of that is like I feel like it's just like wasted space if like these characters are just not in my hindsight for like if I care for them or not.
Yeah.
Or there's no growth that's going on here, or like why should I? Sorry for the motorcycles in the background, but but why should I? Man, they're really obnoxious today. Jesus Christ. So like, why should I care about these characters that are placed in front of me? And I feel like it's not really giving that reason, or at least letting me explore with the characters enough to like really have this journey with them, the same way that Joel and Ellie did. And the only character so far that I'm actually having some form of connection, that I actually enjoy seeing on the screen, as much as Abby and Ellie in some sense, is Owen, which is really weird to me.
Yeah,
but
that's really weird.
Yeah, it is. Because like for some reason, whenever I see him and Abby on screen, I just see this connection, and I'm seeing kind of like their relationship and where it went wrong and how they're trying to fix it in some way. But at the same time, it's too late because of what Ellie did. So there's a lot with the game that like I like and I'm enjoying, and there's a lot that I'm really not liking and just really not vibing with. And part of it is because of the characters that I'm not really being connected to, and I'm not just having I'm not forming a sort of relationship with. And at the same time, it's the gameplay pacing that is kind of throwing me off too. It feels like I'm in one section or a couple of sections for way too long. Like I'm 15 hours into the game, and I feel like I'm not even close to finishing it, which makes me hesitant in going back to it because I want to finish it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of where I left on Last of Us Part 2. Last
I feel like an instigator because it got so tense because I love it. Here's the thing,
because I'm literally talking down on Jay's like favorite game of all time. If he did sing Kingdom Hearts 2, I'll be like, I'll be quitting out of the podcast.
No, but
also, it's not my favorite game of all time. Let me just make that clear right now.
Okay. So your favorite PlayStation first party game?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's pretty up there. And also it didn't get tense. It was just a discussion.
I love it. No. I not tense.
I wasn't yelling.
Not tense as in heated, but like it got like, oh, like this is an exchange. So here's the thing. In this podcast, like it's seldom that we get in disagreements that are like pretty like in the heart. So like hearing y'all talk about it, knowing how passionate like you are about the game, and knowing how passionate like we are about video games. It's interesting to listen to. Me having brought it up and not having it form organically through the conversation, I felt like I was like, oh shit, what did I do? Like if it had gone elsewhere, because it's not you guys, it's the topic itself. Because Last of Us 2 in and of itself in the video game world, it's a controversial for some reason topic. So like, I just enjoy hearing people talk about it. But yeah, good shit. Enough of that.
First I want to hear Jay's thoughts on like what my perception is so far. Just like because now we're getting to the weeds of it. So
yes, sir. All right.
This is what I wanted to avoid, man. I don't know, man. Just the same thing. Like I always have this like thing with people talking about this game specifically, because like people love to bring up that like, oh, I feel manipulated. Like the game wanted me to feel, or the game really wanted to make me feel, or like Abby, or the game really wanted me to hate Joel, or things along those lines. And I'm like, I'm always like, when I hear that, I'm just like, stories are like at their nature like manipulative. So like I never really understood like that point. Like, yeah, like when I write something, like I want readers to feel something, specifically. Like if I'm writing like a funny joke, then like the intent is, yeah, like I want someone to write, or I want someone to like laugh at this joke, or et cetera. So yeah, I'm whenever people say that that like, oh, they really wanted me to like Abby, I'm like, well, sure, but it's up to you to make that decision. Like they could try as hard as they want to do that, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to to make that call. So like it's not like they're forcing you to do anything. It's still going to be up to you. So
right, and to counter that, I think what brings a lot of people's mind when they say certain stuff like that is really based on his presentation of the story itself, right? So like you don't notice that you're, I don't know. It's hard to explain because we're getting to like the real weeds of storytelling here. But when you are connecting with a character and you're going through the motions, you're going through this adventure, sometimes it feels intrinsic. Like it just all of a sudden it just happens, and you just realize it as soon as you start talking about it. With my problem with The Last of Us Part 2 in particular is just that it really feels like it's just putting me in situations that I'm not even sure like I really want to be in or that I'm gonna enjoy. Like as far as being in, like I think the part of it too is like having the day split up between, or at least having it where you did all of Ellie's section and then you're doing all of Abby's section. Like personally, I feel like for me, I'll be enjoying the story a lot more if we went back and forth and saw the ramp up and the tension between going to the theater or going to the hospital and seeing Abby's reaction to what happened to Nora and vice versa. So like I don't know, I feel like it's more of a personal. It's definitely more like a personal take here than like what my feelings on Last of Us are. Versus like I'm not saying the game is bad. I'm not saying that the game needs to be a certain way or anything like that because I respect what it is and I absolutely respect the craftsmanship that went into this game. It's like bar none. But it's just again, it's more of a personal take on like how I'm perceiving the story and these characters and where that's going.
Yeah, which is fair, man. Totally fair.
And I'm only halfway through, so but maybe one day I'll find the motivation just to go back to it, just keep playing. But as of right now, other games are kind of taking my hindsight. So
yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, there's nothing wrong with that, man, for sure. And again, that's one of the biggest reasons why I really love this game. I don't really like talking about it, but I do love that, you know, a game like this can have such varied opinions, which is pretty cool. But yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for not destroying my opinion on here. Yeah, it's just yeah. Again, once we finish it, we can actually have like that conversation, like where it stands. Because from when I was talking with Walt, he seems to be more in like neutral in the sense, but there's a lot of things that we talked about that we have in common on our feelings on the game, and there's other parts of it where you and him both have more in common.
Because my thing, I'm not gonna go into we'll have a podcast just dedicated to The Last of Us, but my thing, I'm neutral in how I perceive the game structure, but I am subjective in terms of me. I actually enjoy what it's doing, so we can get into that like later on in another point in time in our lives.
Another time for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Games.
Yeah, so let's talk about this RE3 Nemesis Edition rumor. Masha, you want to take it away? Have you seen any details about this?
Sorry, I was talking to my fiance. What was it?
The Resident Evil 3 Nemesis Edition. You want to talk about that?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So this actually appeared as a leak from Reddit, I believe, up on what was that website? It's one of those Japanese imports website, but basically it's a Nemesis Edition where it includes like a bunch of enhancements, including some ray tracing. I don't remember seeing anything along terms of them adding more stuff to the game, which is what we talked before, where it actually had some cut content.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. So, in any case, I'm not sure if that's gonna be like a point in this like Nemesis Edition.
Yeah.
But
so there
I immediately thought of you, and I was like, this dude's probably gonna feel really salty about buying the game recently.
No, I'm down. I'll definitely get it again because I saw the box art and yeah, it looks pretty cool. So I'll definitely get it again. But yeah, so the bullet points that I saw for this was that new areas, new enemies, new cutscenes, so like new like story stuff. So and then I think they said like more Nemesis encounters.
Yeah, so it says that he'll supposedly use the flamethrower and rocket launcher outside of boss battles, and he'll follow you into most safe rooms.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. And in the story, because I'm just hearing about this now. It'll have references to Village and RE4 Remake. So
Oh, really?
that's what I'm reading, and like, hey man, I'm buying that game a second time.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I did not see. Yeah, I saw like a very, very quick like tweet about it, and I was like, oh, I'm retweeting that, and I'm buying that whenever it gets announced.
New weapons, resistance mode revamped, with new features. But yeah, that's like the core thing of the leak. So honestly, I'm for that. I enjoy myself a harder experience in terms of him entering the safe rooms. I actually enjoy that a lot more than just being able to go in and avoid a danger. It's like it keeps me on my toes, you know?
That makes me happy too, just because I really liked Resident Evil 3, the original one. And when I heard from reviews and people playing that you don't really encounter Nemesis that much, I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, he's more. It feels more scripted. It doesn't feel like, oh, you just run into him, you know, like in RE2, where it's like, Mr. X, you can be chilling, just doing a puzzle, and you just hear the boom, boom, boom. You're like, oh fuck, god damn it, and you have to run away. With Nemesis, it's much more threatening. I mean, Nemesis is like 100 times more scarier than Mr. X in terms of
Yeah, man has a bazooka, of course.
Yeah,
Shit, I don't know, man. Mr. X was more scary to me, man.
Mr. X is spookier.
Is it the fedora? Is it the fedora?
Yeah, man. I shot that little thing off immediately.
I forgot you could do that.
Yeah, I think there's a trophy for that, or like an achievement.
Yeah, there's a trophy for it.
For punching the fedora. No, dude. Okay, so Mr. X is a lot more like, he's spookier and scary because it's like, it's his appearance. Yeah, it's like, this man's about to sell me like some like illegal guns or some shit. But with Nemesis, it's like, yeah, this is a monster. I guess it's the fact that Nemesis looks more fictional, and Mr. X, although it's literally a gray, massive man.
Yeah, it's literally the reason why Michael Myers is more scary than like Freddy Krueger or Jason.
Exactly. It's much more, quote unquote, very quote unquote, realistic. Because you can definitely see a man in a trench coat that's like 100 feet walking towards you in an alley, like, heard you talk some shit, you know? But
yeah, now I'm just picturing Jay like playing RE2, and then Mr. X comes in with his fedora. He's like, he shoots out the fedora. He's like, okay.
Hey man, you ain't lying, man. You ain't lying. But yeah, man, I'm definitely excited for more RE3.
That's a physical for me. If there's a physical edition for that, I'm definitely getting a physical. RE3.
Oh, there definitely is, yeah. There might be two different covers too, depending on that leak there. Looks like the one was like a Nemesis edition, and then the other was probably like maybe like a deluxe edition where it's just Nemesis screaming out like on the side of the box. I was like, that's a little lame. I'm just gonna look at the one with Jill.
Yeah, that's the one I'm getting to. I gotta get that one.
The one with Jill? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I mean, Jill. Yo, I legit want to see. Oh, nope. That's Resident Evil Sense. Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked. I'm a little shocked that they are doing this in the first place, right? Like I don't know. Like I've always, even though that kind of doesn't make sense. Like I was gonna say that like I usually just like at this point just expect RE to be released and then that's it. They move on to the next one. But even that's kind of not true because they constantly do like remakes and re-releases and whatnot. So yeah, but I don't know. Like it's almost like RE3 like remake like part 2 almost in a way if they are adding more story to this.
Sure.
So yeah, I don't know.
So like Persona 5 Royal.
Maybe. Or like Kingdom Hearts Remind, essentially.
Or a Remind, yeah. So the thing with Resident Evil, it's interesting how they, when you listen to the story and you see everything unfold, it's like this is wacky, but there's some seriousness to it. But it definitely feels whenever you see a new Resident Evil game come out that Capcom's like, no, you got like there's lore. Like you can see them be like, no. Everything like matters. Like you see this Bender, no, he's gonna be referenced in 7, okay? Like they try to tie everything up because you definitely if you play 6 and you play 7 and you play 8, it's like you're playing 2 completely different storylines. But now if you're trying to put some Village references in this and Resident Evil 4 Remake supposedly references in it feels like they're just trying to either pull a Star Wars where they're just making a new canon, or just patching some holes of like, no, this is why this happened. No, this is what actually happened. You know, you didn't remember that correctly. I don't know. It feels. It's like a Hobbs and Shaw situation. It's like it doesn't take itself seriously, but at the same time, there's a lot of lore. I don't know. Maybe
Fast and Furious lore.
Fast and Furious, where it's like there's lore, but let's not take it too seriously.
So here's a question. Do you guys think Lady Dimitrescu is gonna show up in this or in RE4 remake?
Probably not.
Yeah.
If anything, there will be talks about Mother Miranda.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if anything, there'll probably be like documents on Mother Miranda. Yeah.
Yeah, that because that is the actual main villain. Not gonna go into details of it, but she is, the lady you see in the trailer, the one in the middle. Honestly, I don't know how they would do it if they tie Lady D in there. If they just mention her name, her actual name, like if they go like, oh, have you heard of this wealthy woman that lives in the mountains? What's her name? Oh, Alcina. I hear that she has daughters that are to be betrothed. I don't fucking know. Like some BS that I don't know how they would tie it in because it's Raccoon City, and Resident Evil 8 is in what, Europe or something.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Europe.
Yeah. If anything, if it's a Resident Evil 7 thing, it's Miranda. If it's Resident Evil 4, they're definitely going to talk about Las Plagas because Ada's involved with that, and there's no way they're not going to talk about that. I don't know.
But if any case, Jay, you probably just wait on RE8 until they come out with the complete edition because you know they're going to come out with DLC for it, which they already announced. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, they're working on some DLC for that. Which honestly, they have like 7 characters that they can do DLC for.
Yeah. So I'll probably just wait for because they'll re-release Village, and I'll wait for the version that has Lady Dimitrescu on the cover.
Waifu edition.
Oh man, don't do that to me. Don't tell me I gotta buy it again.
Hey man, you would buy it again. We would buy it again, Macho.
If it had Dimitrescu on the cover, you would buy it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do people call it? Mommy Milkies? Like Mommy Milky edition?
Hey yo.
Hey yo.
That's crazy.
I don't know. That is insane.
Yeah. Much rather buy that version than than the version that with Chris's wolf ass on the cover.
The most left field shit.
That's why I'm really glad I got the deluxe edition where it actually just has the black wing and then the steel book. I'm okay with that. I don't need Chris's face up on that. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I got it digital.
So before we head out of here, let's talk about this rumor that what's their name? Quantic Dream is making a Star Wars game, and apparently it's gonna be like an open world, and it's not gonna be like the titles that Quantic Dream usually makes. So it's gonna be more traditional. I think it said it's gonna have like real actual combat in it as well. So to me this is a really odd pairing. If it is indeed true, and also all the shit that's surrounding Quantic Dream right now, I'm shocked that Disney even wants a part of that. So yeah, what was your guys' sort of first reaction to hearing that Quantic Dream possibly is making a Star Wars game?
Macho, take it away.
I thought it was fake.
Because now I'm confused. Because that's real, or is this rumor? It was still in the weeds of an actual rumor.
It's a
no, yeah. I thought it was fake, man.
It's a rumor, but I thought it was true.
It'll be
And what's
interesting. It'll be
surrounding
interesting to see
Quantic
what. Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they come up with that. But I don't know. I don't really have high hopes. Just to put it bluntly, I don't have high hopes.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Here's the thing, man. Usually, you tell me, but oh my god, I can't see them tackling like actual IPs. If you
I'll be right
Quantic-
back. By the way, give me a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. If you tell me Quantic Dream is making a game, generally my reaction would be like, oh, cool. Like, I'm not, ooh, like I'm jumping out that window to go and get it day one, but I'm like, oh, cool. Like, what are the subjects they're going to tackle this time, we've tackled like identity, we've tackled humanity, we've tackled family and murder mysteries and all this. Star Wars and there being combat. Here's the thing, Jay. I don't know you, but when I think Quantum Dream, I don't think combat.
I mean, 100%. Their combat is usually just like quick time events. So.
Yeah, and the most we've gotten in combat is like Beyond Two Souls. Like, there's a couple of moments where you like have some movement of, crap. What was her name? Protagonist's name. Of her, like shooting like some of the shadows or like people or whatever, and it was like during training or like special like missions that you could like go from cover to cover and shoot, but that was the extent of it. There was no actual like movement of a character. It's mainly Quantic Dream games are but it's mainly quick time events and dialogue and just decision making. So this is a situation, and we tackled this on a previous episode. I don't remember what was the pairing, but we had talked about a specific studio tackling a specific game or IP, and we were having trouble like thinking about how they would do that. I don't remember what it was, but this is another case of that. I echo what Macho says. I'm not having having high hopes of this because on it. Both things, I like Quantic Dream, I like Star Wars, but the pairing of the both, that doesn't synergize in my head. I can't think about how that would work. What would you think?
Yeah, it's not my first choice to make a Star Wars game. It's not my second, it's not my third. It's weird. It's really weird, but I guess I'm interested to see. I mean, I like Star Wars, so I purely based off of that, I'm interested to see what they could do.
Right.
Will I play it? Probably not, but yeah, that's pretty much the extent of my thoughts.
Honestly, the idea of it, I mean, not being able to come up with like what they would do doesn't like make me dread the fact. But Quantic Dream is definitely like, oh, all the studios have been burned. There's only one studio remaining, Quantic Dream, and they're making every game in the world. And that's when I see them like making a Star Wars game. Like, and if anything, I think like Insomniac. I don't know, like EA or Respawn that they did, Jedi Final Order. Like, I don't think Quantic Dream. What are you, Macho? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you like? No high hopes, but like, do you think this rumor like is even real or not?
I don't think so. I mean, it's so hard to tell even with something like this because if we're not out of the realm of possibility when it comes to a studio really like shifting its genre, right? Guerrilla did it with Horizon. Respawn did it with Jedi Fallen Order. And mind you, both of those games that when they actually ventured off doing something different was actually amazing, right? Jedi Fallen Order was phenomenal. The same with Horizon Zero Dawn, and now we got Forbidden West coming, which is actually like a marquee PlayStation title now, and Aloy is like a central character to PlayStation. So it's again, we're not out of the realm of possibility when it comes to Quantic Dreams doing something like that. But I guess we're gonna have to see, because immediately when you put Quantic Dream and Star Wars together, I immediately thought of like a Senate game, like where you're talking to the Senate and trying to like you're in the weeds of the Empire or something. You have to like coerce your way out and work with the rebellion and stuff like that. But it's all dialogue driven, and to me that sounds super boring.
Yeah.
Right.
Because what really appeals to me for Star Wars is not the politics. It's not even the alien races. It's really like the lightsabers and kind of the economy of the Jedi and the Sith and the religion and the kind of theologies of both of them, how that plays into this universe. That's what I love, and kind of the yin and yang between all those two. And that's something Quantic Dream could definitely tackle as far as these elements, because they tackled very like thematic games. But in terms of gameplay, not so much.
You know what's interesting in my mind? So I have these two studios in my mind. I have Quantic Dream and I have Telltale. They both do the same thing, narrative, decision making, quick time events, and completely different like approaches to it. But I see Telltale making a Star Wars game more than I see Quantic Dream, and they're in the same realm of like structure, because it is a story driven game. There's no real combat. There's quick time events and whatnot. But similar to how Telltale has tackled, Wolf Among Us, even Batman, I can see them making a Star Wars game more than I see Quantic Dream, which has also like tackled like actual like just narrative focused games. Only difference, they haven't tackled IPs. If it's all been original, so I can't. Again, we'll see. We'll see what comes out of it. But more games. If there's a demo for it, if it's real, that's my thing. But we'll see how it turns out, man. I like Quantic Dream. I like what they.
One question though.
What?
And sorry, my mouth sounds full. I'm eating.
Ruh.
Do you think it'll be a PlayStation exclusive?
No.
I agree.
Sony's done with Quantic Dream. There's this thing that recently came out that was like Detroit Become Human had originally had another playable character, like another campaign, but it was basically like a sex worker, and described in a very interesting way, and that was one of the reasons that Sony was like, "Yo, we gotta get out of this deal like quick." Like these people.
Wow, really did not know that.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the Tracys, which in hindsight, it makes sense how. I mean, she was like a huge role in the game. She played a huge role, one of the Tracys at least, because the Tracys is the name of like the brand of android that is a sex worker, which the main Tracy that we focused on was played by Brian Deckard's significant other now, Amelia Rose Blair. Amelia, was it? Yeah. It makes sense that was the thing. It's weird that they didn't do it. Why? Did they pull out because of the fact of a sex worker, or because of how they were structuring it?
Well, to my understanding, that's just like one of the things that made them want to like stop working with them. I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, the last couple of years, they've been sued, or there's been tons of allegations against that studio. I mean, the studio just seems messy in general, so I don't blame them. They had a 3-game contract with them, and they haven't renewed that since. So I think there's good reason why.
Dude, you hear all these allegations against so many companies, not even just video games, just in general, and sometimes you just think that what they want to do in Attack on Titan would work here with just a mass castration and just make people not be horny. It's so absurd how just people.
That was not going where I was expecting it to go.
Really?
Let's change the subject really quick.
Yeah. Video games.
Wait, hold on. Judgment, Lost Judgment, man.
Yeah, I haven't even touched it. I haven't finished the first one.
Well, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm seeing previews and everything, not previews, just reviews, mostly to my fellow man Gene Park, fabulous writer and video game critic.
Shout out.
He reviewed Lost Judgment. He had like a lot of praise for even saying that it was going to be more likely his game of the year. And one of the highlights is beating up high school kids in the game because they're all bullies, they're all assholes, right? And they're just like making fun of like kids or whatever the case may be. So like apparently the majority of your time in this game, or at least a good part of it, is being in this high school trying to like really break down like not high school drama, but like really just all the stuff that's going in. And in the meantime, you're beating up high schoolers. So I'm all about this, man. I was looking for a game to use my free game voucher on for the Sony Rewards stuff, and I finally found it. So I got Lost Judgment coming to me. So I'll definitely be diving into that once I finish up Tales of Arise. I'm looking forward to it. From all I hear is that Law of Judgment is amazing, and I'm just excited to beat up some teenagers, man. That's really...
There you go.
I'm just really excited.
Be careful, man.
I'm really excited just to put my knuckles on them, you know?
Hey, yo.
Do some crane style attacks and shit, you know?
God
Yeah,
damn.
put the knuckles on them, not in them.
Oh, no, see, you said it.
No.
Man, I said let's change the subject, and we made it even worse, man. What's going on, man?
Man, that sounds crazy though. Like I haven't. You're the first person. Like I haven't heard anything. I've purposefully avoided anything like related to Lost Judgment because I haven't finished the first one. But now I really want to finish the first one and get into this one. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, the first one's good. I liked it. It was. I sold it from PS4. I need to rebuy on PS5 because it's the only modern game that actually has a House of the Dead, like a mini game in it.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Lost Judgment 2 does not have House of the Dead. I was very upset to learn this, but it does have a bunch of other really classic games on it. So
Tight.
all Yakuza fashion, but man, Lost Judgment is something I'm looking forward to playing once it comes in.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah. I guess that's gonna do it for the podcast. Not too much happened this week.
Quick thing, Jay. Though, so because I want to hear you guys' take on this, even if it's no take at all. I just want to because it's absurd. It's not absurd. It's not bad. It's just bizarre as hell. What do y'all think about the lineup for the Mario movie coming next year?
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah. Let's give our thoughts on the Nintendo Direct really quick. What'd you guys think about it?
How much is it? Half ass, half good?
Yeah, I feel like people are really capping if they say this is better than the Xbox or PlayStation presentations.
They are capping.
People
and
are saying
I love
that?
Nintendo.
There's quite a few people saying that, which is kind of ridiculous. But man, I was so upset to hear of announcements. Like nothing pisses me off more. Nothing grinds my gears more than hearing announcements of announcements.
Yep, we're working on this. Good for you, buddy. Don't talk about it.
It's like, don't waste my time. Like, just please don't waste my time when it comes to these presentations. And on top of that, I hope this game is a bunch of updates and some really cool stuff, right? The cool stuff being Bayonetta 3, finally, Mama's home, right? Mama is home.
That hair.
Metroid Dread's looking real nice.
Yes,
sir. It's like the 10th trailer, but it's looking real cool.
It's so nice.
And obviously the Castlevania stuff, that's what I've been waiting on, the Castlevania Advance Collection.
Hyped. Yeah.
Actually, I picked it up. I picked that up too, so I can finally do my Castlevania marathon. I'm excited for that.
Good stuff.
But
Splatoon
3,
Return of the Mammalians, whatever. What was it?
that lord dump. Just I was not feeling that, bro.
Yeah, he definitely took a dump on that segment, didn't he?
It was literally a lore dump, not figuratively a lore dump.
What's the subtitle of that game, Macho?
Splatoon 3 lore dump. Taking that. Nah, let me stop.
I don't know, man, dude. Splatoon got lore though. It has so much lore. A game that I legitimately, I got very, I felt my inner child just just scream was the Kirby Forgotten Land game.
You mean Kirby Last of Us?
Last of Kirby. Dude, it's it's the fact that I never played Kirby 64, and that was the closest thing that we ever got to like an actual like 3D Kirby game. Here's the thing. I'm not like, it's gonna revolutionize. No, it's the fact that it's the first video game I ever played, Kirby's Dream Land, like ever in my life. That was my introduction to video games, with the Game Boy Color. Knowing that they're bringing that little fluff to the like actual like 3D like world, that's pretty dope, man. Last of Kirby looks nice.
Me and my fiance were watching it, and she loves Kirby. She grew up with Nintendo, so she's like, "Oh, this is lit." And I like looked at her, I was like, "Come on, yeah." We played It Takes Two, and we played Walking Dead. Like, come on, man.
But that's lit, though. I agree with her.
Yeah, I know. There's a pocket of audience that are extremely excited for it. I'm happy
yes,
for you
sir.
guys.
We are.
Because honestly, like if I was into Kirby, this would be like, oh, this is cool.
Hey man, don't play with me, man. I used to rock heavy with your boy Kirby.
Did you really? Look at you. Man. Yeah, man. Smash Bros all day?
No, his in the games, man.
There you go.
Yeah, specifically on the DS. I used to play a lot of Kirby back in the day. Not gonna lie.
Hey man,
dope.
Love to hear it.
I mean, it's a classic, so you can't knock it.
Not gonna play this one, but I used to.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. How can you play a game when you don't got the console? All right.
True. Even if I had the console, though, I don't think I'd be checking it.
That's caps. That's caps. Jay, that's caps.
It's not, man.
I don't know, man.
It's not.
Here's the thing, man. You say all these games you weren't gonna touch. You got yourself knee deep into Resident Evil. Now Lady D is on the table. The
Walt's got
Village.
a point.
Resident Evil Village is on the table now. It used to not even be on your front mind. Hey,
oh,
man.
look at Walt, man, pulling up like this. Look at Walt.
He found the receipts.
No, the receipts are non-existent, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Them shits, you got them shits in email. They ain't got no prints. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah, they got your signature back in the strip club, man.
Oh, that's what it is?
I got it, man. I got it all written down. They got a recording. They were doing that dance. They were like, "Hey, Jay, what do you like playing?" And they got recording. You're like, "Man, I really like Kirby, man."
Kirby.
Yeah. He got Jay's playlist.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
But yeah, man, Macho, what do we got? That Nintendo Direct.
No, let me reassure the people that did not happen, man. It did not happen, man. No strip club ever interrogated me into admitting that I like Kirby, okay?
Damn, she's saying it takes a little more than the lumps to get you to say you like Kirby. Damn.
Yeah,
I never thought that would be a sentence. No strict club ever interrogated me to love kid.
Yeah, so beyond the Kirby hype, is was also the news of the Mario movie releasing December 2022, and the casting 21st. For this. The casting for this was, at least to say, not as people were expecting. Your Guardian of the Galaxy, your Jurassic Park tamer, your dumb idiot from Parks and Rec.
And Chris I think Pratt he's Republican, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna label him on that. Yeah. I have no idea where his political allegiance lie.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I don't know about anything about that, because a lot of it's like hearsay. A lot of it's is just internet. Has a hate boner for celebrities a lot of time. So I'm not gonna pit him against that or why people hate him or anything like that. To be honest, I really don't give a shit. And beyond that, though, he's gonna be the voice of Mario.
He sounds just like Mario.
Regardless, he actually made like a video saying like it's like a dream come true, because he remembers like playing Super Mario and when he was younger and all that stuff. So good for him, man. Good for him. The guy's getting jobs, not because he's an amateur. He's actually a decent actor, and from all accounts, he seems like a decent person. I'm gonna take the word of his co-stars, his Avengers co-stars.
Everyone talks good about him. I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah.
When I saw the cast, like first of all, some of them I don't know every artist ever. the cast for the Mario movie. We'll go more into some of the highlighted ones.
This is so funny to me. The fucking Mario movie.
The Mario movie, man.
It's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be so bad.
Actually, I don't know, man. Maybe I don't know. With Miyamoto involved, maybe it's gonna be good.
Yeah, and they got Charles Martinet in it, which makes me think like if he's gonna make some cameos in the movie, I don't know if it's gonna be like a two-type kind of thing with Mario. Because here's the thing: we don't really listen. Mario doesn't talk. He makes expressions. He makes like he has phrases, but you don't hear him like, "Come here, let me have a conversation with you." Like you don't. He doesn't have like an actual conversation.
He doesn't know how to talk. That's the lore.
Yeah, because plumbers can talk.
I don't know Mario lore.
Yeah, well, Toad doesn't talk either. Well, voice at least.
And they got King Michael P. Right?
No one saw it. No one saw that coming.
I did not expect. I didn't expect a movie, much less Keegan playing Toad.
Yeah, and the girl from
Queen's Gambit, Anya Taylor-Joy. Which you gotta check her interviews in Spanish. Her voice is beautiful.
She is a princess, so that was a good casting.
Yes, beautiful casting. But the thing with Chris Pratt, I see him being cast, and he's always been this artist that's like, he looks like you can see the kid that aspired to be an actor in him, if that makes sense.
That's the best way to put it.
You can see not even yourself, but you can see yourself excited for that kid. You can, because he's so pure. Like when he talks about in interviews, he's so so familial, and he talks about he's fishing with his kid, and he's very down to earth when he's in interviews and whatnot. And everyone talks beauties about him. So him being cast as the lead and as Mario, it feels like I'm the one having that dream come true through him. If that makes any sense.
Nah, that's not how I feel. I didn't get the job. That's not how I feel.
But similar to how, yeah, but you don't gotta switch. But similar to how I.
What was that? Huh? What was that?
You don't play Nintendo games. Shut up. I just, if they had casted, I don't know, Oscar Isaac, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? But with him, it's oh, he's a goofus, in so many, almost every mainstream title that he's had, or character that he's played, Star-Lord and Andy in Parks and Rec. It's been this just doof, or someone that's always very wacky or whatever.
Yeah, kind of like borderline obnoxious, but super lovable.
Exactly, and and him himself, when you see him, because I don't live with him, but what we see of him in interviews and whatnot, he is this lovable, just human being. He gives good bear hugs and shit,
Yeah, very humble, very very down to earth. Yeah,
exactly. I'm not shitting on it like Jaffe did. I'm just oh. Yeah, we'll see what comes of it.
Why did Jaffe shit on it?
I don't know. I know that I saw a clip of him saying that was not a good. It wasn't a the whole announcement of the Mario movie. He didn't really vibe with it. I didn't see the whole video. I just know that specifically with Chris Pratt and being Mario, it's not it. But
I mean the announcement was weird because it was in the middle of a showcase what people were expecting, a game showcase, more or less. And we got an announcement for the movie, which was just weird.
Yeah.
But beyond that, can we just talk about that Jack Black is Bowser?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's kind of tight.
It's fucking awesome, dude.
Bowser doesn't have a voice, but that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. That's
I think
that's the best one.
I think he did have a voice in Sunshine.
We don't talk about those voices. We don't talk. Here's the thing: Sunshine. I love the game, but that lore, it's wild. Because, like...
Oh, yeah, it is wild. Yeah, especially in Sunshine.
Yeah,
Bowser ends up telling Bowser Jr., oh, yeah, that's your mom. And it's like, what?
He lied to that kid.
Yo, when I saw that, I played that last year for the first time. I had stood up in my seat. I was like, "What?"
Didn't Mario do like hard time in that game too?
Yeah. There was a section where he's like on a podium, and it's like you hear the what's it called, gavel just hit, bam, and he's behind. And you're like, what is going on?
Mario got fucking tossed in prison. You got Bowser Jr. Being on that show Mari or whatever, being like, you are the father or whatever.
That's a great game, man. It's a great game.
It's great. The theme is something that no other Mario game really has, that island, like tropical kind of setting. Structure is very different to other games, but it's a really good game.
The Sunshine and Galaxy, I played them last year, they stood out so much to me, and I enjoyed them a lot. Like, they were so much fun. They're so much fun.
Which I wonder where this movie takes place.
Well, it's going to take place in quite a bit of scenarios because of the fact that Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. So, we're going to the jungle, baby. I can't. That's like the one actor I did not expect to be playing Donkey Kong.
Here's the thing, man. I don't know if this movie is like, we're human. Oh, now we're characters. Or is it like, this is...
No. That's going to break the immersion in kids' imaginations so much.
The kids are going to fucking scream in the theaters.
It's like if Mickey Mouse's head in Disney World, the guy takes it off for like 5 seconds. He's like, oh my god, Mickey Mouse is Mexican.
That's true.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle.
But I wonder what the aesthetic is going to be, or like the theming, and I assume obviously it's going to be like, like PG. Or PG-13.
I mean, to me, like, I feel like the really cool, like, Super Mario movie scenario would be if they were to do it on the, like, Mario 64, where kind of like you have this castle, you have these different...
all these levels.
Yeah, all these different levels you can go through, stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty cool for a movie visual standpoint, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously its own thing, because Donkey Kong is in it. That's the big thing, there's so many characters in this game that, because there's Cranky Kong as well. So, like, you have like all these characters that are from different video games that haven't really met. So, I wonder what kind of storyline they're tackling, kind of Mario lore we're gonna dive into.
I don't know, man.
Because I know then Miyamoto like confirmed that Mario's name is like Mario, so like we know that. Like his surname is like Mario, so his name is like Mario, right? Or something like that.
Christ.
If it is, that's quite an imagination that guy has.
Yeah, he knows no bounds.
All right, so let's talk about Bayonetta 3 really quick, man. I found it funny that goddamn. I found it funny that when they were the conversation after the trailer, the guy was like, we revealed this game in 2017. I was like, god damn, dude. It's been 5 years, man. Jesus.
It's been 5 years. Yeah.
It's been 5 years. We've been hit. I've been hit by a hurricane, earthquakes, a pandemic, and we still didn't have any Bayonetta until now. It's insane. We had like, there were literally every natural disaster happened in the world before Bayonetta like was like officially again brought up.
It's one of those things where, God, I'm so happy this franchise is alive. Yeah. But why does it have to be only on Nintendo? Because with Bayonetta 3, Xenoblade Chronicles, like, downright amazing games, right? Like, generation-defining games when it comes to their genres, when it comes to whatever it is. And they're stuck on Nintendo Switch.
Oh, man.
with that Vaseline graphics and those
Hey,
dipping
yo.
frame rates. I got tweeted before. I'm gonna cry when I'm playing Bayonetta 3 and the game's running like a slideshow. But I'll live. I'll live.
It'll be worth it.
Then
But
you
yeah,
need
it'll
to
be
buy that
worth
OLED.
Yeah, man.
They'll buy that. They'll buy that. But
Bye,
yeah,
bye.
Bayonetta looked cool.
Yeah.
Kirby and the Forgotten Lands looked cool.
Yeah. Thick.
Besides that, that was pretty much it for me.
Yeah, man.
Dying Light got another trailer. Just crazy.
Yeah, I think it was BG that said it. You have no respect for yourself. You play the cloud version of Dying Light too.
Yeah, I'm gonna show myself some respect and play it on a big man's console.
Yeah, man, treat yourself, man. Play it on PS5.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean that was pretty much the extent of the show for me. Not too much. I think I basically clocked out after that squid researcher came up on the screen.
I can't believe that actually closed out the show too.
I think to be honest, like I'm giving it a hard time, but at the same time, I think it's pretty cool. Like in a charming way that yeah, they go out and they act like these like little characters or whatever. I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah, someone out there loves it. So happy,
Not you?
Happy for absolutely not.
Oh man,
Absolutely not. I can
sure?
do without. I did not want. At least Bayonetta 3 was the show closer. That's a good thing.
you didn't think it was cute when he got his little lab coat on and he said, "We've been observing the mammals in the world." And you didn't think that was cool?
Listen, man, I know I love Kingdom Hearts, but I ain't loving that bullshit. All
Oh
right?
man.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right, man. Fine. Hey, suit yourself, man. Suit yourself.
Shut up, Jay. Oh man,
yourself
but
out.
overall, it was a pretty good conference. It was all right.
Yeah.
I got what I wanted out of it, so I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna sit here and tell and then say that it was a bad show or anything like that one. Yeah, a lot of people definitely enjoyed it, I think. But yeah, man, that's going to do it for the podcast. I want to thank everyone that came through. Mahmood, we saw you in the chat, man. I don't know if you're still here, but we appreciate you coming through. And yeah, to everyone who shows up afterwards, we appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming through. And we're gonna get started with these outros. Macho, why don't you kick things off for us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So more Tales of Arise is definitely incoming for this weekend. Also some Final Fantasy 14. But I think this weekend I'm gonna try and finish Tales of Arise, man. I'm really excited to see where that ends up on. And yeah, basically start up maybe like East, maybe Lost Judgment if that comes in time. Not sure when it's coming during the week, but yeah, man, stay tuned for the next podcast, man. I may or may not be here, so y'all may have your chance to actually have the roast session in order. But
man.
we'll see. We'll see. I'll see if I can make arrangements so that doesn't happen because I've not missed a podcast yet, and I don't plan on it.
Yeah,
So
we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Walt, what's going on with you, man?
I don't know, Jay, what's going on with you? Nah, man, here's the thing, man. We're training, we're working, trying to play more Tales of Arise. It's a JRPG, so it's a long one. Having more sessions with that, more Kena. Kena's gonna be my therapy game, my relaxing game. Except when it's boss battle time, because I have it. I'm playing it on expert, and it's hard. it's pretty hard and fights.
you really went for like the hard mode on the first time?
Yeah, that's what I'm playing it on now.
Bless your soul.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that with every game, because that way I gauge just how much I suck or I'm good at every game. Aside from that, just more training, man, more personal schedule managing. Got to get better on time management, so I can play these games, man. I got to finish a couple games. Returnal, I haven't finished that last section, so I got to get
Oh,
back
you
to
still
that.
haven't finished it?
Yeah, no, man. Because here's the thing, I really need like to know that I have a couple hours ahead, so that I don't feel rushed to finish it. Because it's a game that I gotta focus. I gotta focus on that last section, and final battle. Aside from that, man, not much else. Just more games, and life will continue being what it is.
Yes, sir. For me, probably more Deathloop. Um, yeah, some more Deathloop for sure. Um, Man, I really love this gun. Uh, there's like this gun that like shoots out like a cloud of like poison gas. It's really really fun. Yeah. So besides that, probably chip away at Kana as well, and I guess that's pretty much it. I honestly think that like man, unless some surprise indie comes out, I really think that like Tales and then probably Battlefield are like the last games I'm buying this year. It's like Dying Light 2 got delayed to 2022, and then unless that RE3 Nemesis Edition comes out this year, then yeah, I think I'm like my year at least is like winding down in terms of like what I'll be playing next and etc.
Not Death Stranding, Director's Cut. You're not gonna pick that up.
Like I said, like I want to get that, but just for the box art alone. So, so, um,
I feel
honestly,
that.
honestly, I think I'm probably gonna wait until it's like down in price. Because I can't justify spending 70 or whatever it is, just for a box art. So,
Yeah, I feel that.
even
I
though
think
I'm
it's
not
like
that
$50, but
Oh, okay.
even then, yeah, I know, I understand. I'm the same boat with you when it comes to Tales of Arise's box art. I wish it was reversible, but it's not.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys next week for episode 31. Peace out, guys.